I mean, not to say the least, it was controversial. It was like straight robbery, my opinion. I thought Johnny won that fight hands down. I mean, if Dan won a round at all, it was because he was on top for the last 45 seconds of the third. But other than that, Johnny picked him up and put him down at will. He almost nearly knocked him into the friggin' nether realm in the second round, and then the third he controlled. It was a pretty, I would say that was probably the most even round. I was giving it to Johnny up until the last 45 seconds of the fight. I don't know what the judges were looking at. I don't know what was going on there, but Johnny got robbed real hard there, in my opinion. And that whole thing, I'll give respect to Dan to know that that was a terrible, terrible performance on his on every. I mean, I just okay. Here's my opinion on that. I got slain on social media and in all these interviews that I was boring and the way that I fought was boring. And that was going to happen, and how they're not boring fighters, and they're this and that and the other thing, and whatever. But then they went in there and they did the same goddamn thing that I did, and it's cool for them, but it's not cool for me. And then when I brought it up and I was booing them outside of the cage, people's managers had to have a little temper tantrum and tell me to be quiet when they were one of the people that were telling me I was boring, and then their boy did the same shit, but it's totally acceptable for them. So that's how I feel about the fight in total, is that you guys went up and down me about my tactic about how to beat Johnny Campbell, and then you went in there and tried to do the same shit and sucked at it, and then almost went to sleep in the second round by a guy who naturally fights at 25. The same shit happened. It was the same fight. They tried to do the same thing, and Dan couldn't do it. Did Johnny take me down? No, he didn't. He didn't even get close. So did Johnny almost put me to sleep with the same overhand that he hit Dan with? No. So this is how I feel, all right? Now that I watched that, I have no quarrel. I have no doubt in my mind. I still smoke both of those people. I don't care. They can take it to the bank with that. You're going to mock me up and down all over social media for clout, and then you go and try and do the same shit, fail at it, and then get a bullshit gifted decision. That's how I feel about the whole situation. And Kin was being Kin. Kin was real smooth on his feet. I think maybe the ring rust was, kind of a thing. Nerves kind of got to him. He wanted it, not nerves that he's like, that he would do bad, or not nerves like, I don't know, inexperience or rust. I think it's more that Kin wants to do really well all the time, and so he puts a lot of pressure on himself. So I think that's reflected a little bit. Maybe in his cardio could a little bit better, been a little bit better, but he put his combinations together well. He defended takedowns. He took some good shots. The kid Corrigan it wasn't like he ran over the kid. The kid was really good. He had a good jab, decent movement. He took good shots from Kin, but Kin put his stuff together well, and Kin, having been away 2 years, didn't really bother me as far as because he's constantly training. It's not like he takes time off and he's not in the gym. He's constantly working on his craft. So it's almost, ring rust almost isn't a thing when you're that, I guess, consistent with how you train and how you do your reps and things like that. So I think he did great. I think he did really well. He did really great with elbows up the middle. It's something that I'm going to have to go back and watch and obviously plan for. But no, I think he did great. I think he looked great for a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years. Well, he and I had actually talked about that the day before, actually the day of weigh-ins, was he told me, he's like, yeah, champ, I think that might be waiting around a little bit longer than you think, just because there's so many of us contending. I think it's going to be the winner of Dan and the winner of my fight, should go on and fight again, and you might be on the shelf a little longer, which kind of pissed me off, but made sense, because all three of those guys, despite how I feel about the situations, deserve their cracks, right? Obviously, if they win, they deserve it. I'm not going to not give credit where credit is due. If you deserve the shot, then you're going to get it. But it's three guys. It's not two, it's three. So, how am I going to say that these two deserve one more than a big name like Kin? So it's like everybody was really obviously focused on Johnny and Dan, but Kin Moy is such a huge name in New England. To discredit him or take him out of the picture of a bantamweight title run is silly, So he had mentioned that himself. So he kind of hinted to me that he wanted to fight the winner of Johnny Dan, but that's not how it turned out. You know what I mean? Honestly, if the same two people showed up I mean, the same two people that, as in Kin and Dan showed up to fight from last night in January, Kin's going to crush him. It would have been a dusting, in my opinion. So, I don't know. However it's going to happen, January's going to come, we're going to fight. So it is annoying because that would potentially, what if Kin was hurt? What if Kin had broken his hand or something like that, and we couldn't make this immediate matchup? So now, after all this time and all this shit, you guys said all this shit about me and my fight was horrible. You did the same shit, and then you're putting the rest of the division on hold. I have to be on hold because you guys couldn't fucking fulfill the promise that you guys to make to have a barn burner of a fight. You know what I mean? It's just frustrating because of the way that they projected themselves towards me, and then went, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of hypocrisy with what happened, and now they just made decisions. You know what I mean? Make the decision, whatever. But if I say no, but had I been like, nah, I want to fight Kin instead of Dan, they'd have been like, oh, you're ducking Dan. You know what I mean? There's so much shit that would have gone wrong if I did what they did. But nah, Dan's doing it, and Johnny are doing it, so it's cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just feel like it's improperly handled, and people are being like children. And now that, I don't know. It's like an I told you so game. I can't even follow it. It's just frustrating to see because you're grown-ass men. All these people are like 10 years older than me, and they really are. And they're like nana boo boo in my face. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm fucking offset with all that whole situation. Johnny got robbed. You know what I mean? He should have rightfully at least been able to fight Kin. I don't know why in what realm Dan won that fight. He didn't. And anybody in their fucking Facebook posse can come at me for it if they'd like, but they lost that fight. And then when I was in the cage, fucking Dan's manager starts talking shit to me, saying, "Get out of here, nobody wants you." And I'm like, dude, you need to win a fight to actually address me. So I don't know. Maybe you should actually dominantly win the fight that I beat the guy up all 5 rounds for, and you guys gassed in the second in your 3-round fight. So don't fucking sit here and talk to me about anything, because it was 50-45 across the board for me, not a split for me. It went all 5 rounds, and I won every one of them, and you didn't win. You barely won one in a 3-rounder. So, eat my fucking shorts. How about that? It makes the most sense. So basically what it was is, me and Pulver had the same conversation about the 3 people, obviously not letting Kin be out of the picture because of Johnny and Dan. And so we had this conversation about, we're not really sure where it's going to go. He said, honestly, the decision will ultimately be up to me. And so it's a judgment call. It would have been a judgment call for me to either pick the winner of Dan, Johnny, or Kin. And ultimately, I really wanted to fight with Kin to begin with. I think that it's a great fight. I think it's going to bring the best version of me out, and it'll really prove that I belong, above where I'm at right now. So, I talked to him a little bit. He said, dude, if you want to choose Kin, you can go fight Kin. If you want to choose Dan, you can fight Dan. He ultimately left that up to me. Clearly, right after Kin won, he had actually asked me to go in the cage and possibly square off with Kin if I had chosen to. So I didn't know I could do that until after the fact. I would have gone in the cage for Kin if I'd have known that's what we were doing. But yeah, it's basically been, it's almost like a verbal agreement with Pulver as well. So we've talked about it, me and him. I have no problem with the matchup. He knows that it's going to sell. Me and Kin both know what we're going to do to each other. So I think the fight kind of, for hardcores and for, really just local people that are around, it's a fucking barn burner of a fight for people that have been around the area. And for new people, if you want to get introduced to local MMA, why not come watch me versus Kin? It was a great event. I thought it was, chick fights were great. A lot of good stuff. If I had one thing, that's not about the event itself. The judging needs to figure itself out, because there was a few, not other than the Dan fight and Johnny, there was another questionable decision that I just didn't agree with. But other than that, the events are always great. They get better every time. And I think they're really, having not been a part of the event and just kind of watching this time was cool, man, just because you actually got to sit back and enjoy the production without worrying about, getting to fucking an elbow put in your mouth. So it was cool. I really enjoy going there. I would do it every time if I could afford the tickets.
The fight of the night was between those two women. I don't remember their name. Yes, so it wasn't Hindley versus Cron. It was the other one, the amateur fight. Whew! Those girls were bang. They were banging each other out, and I loved that shit. And they were both pretty good looking too. So it was fucking just marvelous. That's my fight of the night, if I would say. And a finish of the night would had to be the one with Cron and Hindley. Actually, both the women, in my opinion, because that was a pretty high level choke that she had her in, and she put her fucking cold out. And that was and Hindley being the jiu-jitsu ace that she is, that was very surprising to see that her go to the ground and be finished that way. So I would say that would be the surprise finish of the night for me. And the fight of the night goes to the other women. So tip of the cap from the champ to the ladies for putting on a great show. Come on, that's my boy. You already know that. Come on now. It's my guy right there. But no, his body work up and down is fucking amazing. So that kid's definitely going somewhere. You know what I mean? If my shot goes up to the UFC next, you know that kid's gonna run train through that division. So I just know other than me, he's gonna beat everybody. So all right, I'll see you later.